Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome to Healthy Living Live. I'm Chef AJ, and my guest today is one of my favorite plant-based chefs in the whole world, none other than Cathy Fisher. She is the author of Straight Up Food, which, by the way, is also the name of her website, which I'm posting on the screen right now in case you'd like to sign up for her wonderful blog. And she's going to be making 3 healthy and delicious recipes that are not only in her book, Straight Up Food, but that she so generously contributed to my new book, The Secrets to Ultimate Weight Loss. She's going to be making compliant ketchup. She actually calls it Straight Up Ketchup in her book. She's going to be making a 4-bean salad and a Cesar-y dressing, and she's going to show you some options, whether you eat nuts or not. So I'm going to put her on screen all by herself, give her some more room. Thank you so much for being here, Cathy, and take it away.
Yay! Thank you for having me. Hi.
Hi, you look great.
I'm here in my little kitchen in Glen Ellen, California. My first ever online cooking demo live.
Yay. Well, you know what I love about you, Cathy, is that you make delicious SOS-free recipes and you actually eat this way. So you actually have a really good palate to know how to make this food taste good. And, you know, there's a lot of chefs that write many, many books and thousands of recipes, but what's neat about you is like every recipe you write is really good. And I see your Aunt Sandy is watching live.
Yay, Aunt Sandy, we love her.
Yeah.
Yay. Yeah, I make every recipe many times before I post it. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist in that way, but it works. It works, and I don't often hear people saying, oh, I really didn't like that, or maybe they're just not saying that to me. But yeah, I want things to taste really good. I want them to be dialed in and easy instructions and steps and ingredients and all that kind of stuff.
Well, people love you and they love your food, and I'm very excited to actually see you make it.
Yay, thank you.
So what are you going to make first?
I'm going to make the 4-bean salad first.
And that's on page 220 of The Secrets to Ultimate Weight Loss, if you're following along.
Yeah, you can follow along. And then after that, I'm going to make the Cesar-y salad. And then at the end, I'll do the ketchup.
Great.
Yay. And you said if anybody has any questions, they can type those in, right? And we'll answer the questions.
If you guys have any questions for Cathy or her recipes, just type them in the chat right now, and I'll read them to her.
Yay. Okay, so I'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with the 4-bean salad. And I already have that started in this big silver bowl here. And this is so easy. Everything's going to come together really quickly here because I have everything chopped and opened and rinsed and drained. But I wanted to make the 4-bean salad because it's a good one. It's one of my favorite makeovers of a really common salad. Usually the dressing is full of sugar and it's full of oil. So I don't put any salt, oil, or sugar in any of my food, but my food is still really flavorful. So I'm going to show you how to do that and make a different dressing that's super easy. So let's go ahead and put together, yes.
Just want to tell you, Sandy says you're looking sexy. Colleen says your look is beautiful. A lot of people are saying hello. And Leslie has a question. Cathy Fisher, how did you get so awesome?
What a great first question. Thank you for thinking that I'm awesome. And if I am awesome, it's just because I'm doing what I love. So I love to eat and I love feeling good. And I always say that this is the perfect profession for me because those are my 2 loves. And yeah, I think if you do what you love and you're eating good food that your body loves, it's easier to be awesome and happy.
Right.
So if you have any other questions, just flag me down. Okay. But I'm going to start.
Colleen, yeah, one more. Colleen wants to know, how long have you been eating this way?
Yeah, good questions. I can give you a little bit of introduction about myself before I jump in. That's a good idea.
That's great.
I have been eating a plant-based diet for almost 20 years. I started in 1999 when somebody suggested that I pick up one of Dr. John McDougall's books because I had always had a dairy intolerance. And I had really bad stomach aches, and so they said, pick up one of his books. He's plant-based, you don't have to eat dairy foods. And so I picked up one of his books, And that was it. I just shifted from then on, and I've been feeling good ever since. I don't get stomach aches anymore. And yeah, that's how I got started. And let's see, I started working for Dr. McDougall in about 2010, no, 7. And I just...
I met you in 2009, you were already working for him.
Yeah, I definitely was by then. I've been working for him for almost 10 years. So yeah, that would be about right. And I just started out doing administrative stuff because I knew I wanted to get my toes in the water. And luckily, I live very close to where they do their programs. So I started working for him and Mary. And years later, I started doing cooking demos. So I still work for them, and I just do cooking demonstrations. And I also work at True North Health Center, which is only about a mile away from Dr. McDougall's place. And I teach there every Thursday for an hour, and I give cooking demonstrations for the people who are staying there. And yeah, and then let's see. So I started my website about 8 years ago. And then 2 years ago is when I came out with the book. So the book has been really successful, and I thank Chef AJ so much because she was always a big supporter of the cookbook and of me. And she said, you got to get going, get that thing done. She and my mom.
Finally happened.
So it's a good feeling to get it done. I self-published it the way that Chef AJ did, and well, not quite exactly the same way, but I put lots of pictures in it, and I made it lay flat, and I just made it the way I wanted my ideal cookbook to be. So
well, people love it. Sandy says your recipes are so good. Melody says her family loves the 4-bean salad. Sandy says glad you're doing what you love and found your calling, changing the world a recipe at a time. Karen says, Cathy, you're an inspiration to all of us. Barbara's made this 4-bean salad a few times, and it's awesome. A lot of people are commenting on how much you like cats and asking what the picture is on the back wall.
Oh, that is actually a dish towel that I found that had cats on it. I do love cats. I'm a cat lady. And so I decided to frame it and put it in my kitchen. And I do have 2 cats. One's outside. His name's Leo, and he's orange. And then I have a little brown tabby. She's in the garage right now, just so she doesn't walk by and trip a wire or something. But yeah, I have 2 kitties, and I also foster kittens.
Nice.
Yeah.
And we have our other favorite Cathy watching live, Cathy Hester. My 2 favorites are both named Cathy, and they both been on the show many times. So BJ said she really appreciates how you always give options for people that are nut and seed and nut butter free, and wonders if you actually eat the recipe with the nuts and the nut butters, and how often.
Oh yeah. I give lots of options because I work at health centers. So whenever you work for people who are trying to regain their health or sustain their health, they always want to know, can I do it without seeds? Well, I don't do nuts. So I've just gotten used to thinking ahead of what those questions are going to be when I develop the recipes. And what was the other question?
Oh, how often do you eat them personally?
Yeah, I eat nuts and avocado and seeds and all of that regularly. I don't go overboard on them. I'm not, we each kind of have our things that I call our freak out foods. The things that we kind of don't want to have in the house, or we'll eat them all in 1 or 2 days. So for me, that is bread, that is boxed cereals, anything that's a processed grain, I just go crazy for. So I try not to bring those into the house. Things like nuts and avocados, I do really well just having a little bit and using those as a condiment. So yeah, I eat those on a regular basis. And people often want to know if I was ever overweight. When I started this diet almost 20 years ago, I lost about 15 pounds gradually in the beginning as I transitioned to this way of eating. And then my body just kind of stays right here all the time. Even if I'm eating a little bit of nuts or avocado, the only time I see my weight fluctuate is if I'm eating lots of breadsy things.
Processed carbs. Jessica says that your demo was her favorite when she attended the March 2012 10-day McDougall program.
Oh, that's so nice. I love teaching McDougall. I love teaching cooking classes. A lot of people may not know, I used to be an elementary school teacher, And while I loved a lot of aspects of that, I love this even more. I love teaching adults, and I probably would love teaching kids how to cook too, but just teaching something really positive that can have like really almost immediate effects on how they feel, and they just get so excited. And when I'm teaching in classes, I do a demo and then I give the sample at the end of the class, and so when people get to eat that sample, their little light bulb goes on and they say, oh, I didn't know that it could taste this good. Or they say, oh, my husband will eat this, or my teenagers will eat this, and they just get all excited to get home and start cooking.
Nice. A lot of people are saying they love your tuna salad, which finally they're selling at True North, thank goodness. And Jamie has 2 questions. Do you ever work out, and what's your main go-to for breakfast?
So do I ever work out? Yes. Ever. Yeah, I try to work out, every other day at least. And I like to do yoga, I like to do hiking, walking. I have my weights at home that I do. I have a kettlebell at home. And I'm really good at working out to YouTube. Some people need to go to the gym. I'm not so much a gym person. I have my favorite videos on YouTube that I just pull up when I want to do a cardio, or I pull up a different one if I want to do my weights. And so that works for me. And I live in an area where there's lots of great hiking and walking. And then, what was the other question?
What's your favorite go-to breakfast?
Oh, breakfast. I have a hot breakfast porridge every day. But I rotate it every day because I don't like to repeat the type. So some people can eat oatmeal every single day for breakfast, but I will eat oatmeal one day, then I will do steel cut oats another day, brown rice, amaranth, buckwheat. There's so many different things. And we don't do gluten at True North, so I tend not to do a lot of gluten at home either, although I can tolerate it. I just don't eat it quite as much. But so I make the breakfast porridge and then I put cut up fruit on it. Sometimes I put flax seeds or chopped up walnuts on there, and then I'll put some non-dairy milk. And I will usually buy soy milk. West Soy is my favorite brand. And if I need a break from that, I'll just make some almond milk or some cashew milk at home, which is super easy. And that recipe's in the cookbook too.
Nice. Jessica wants to know if you took a certification course to be able to do this professionally.
I did not. I just started cooking. Actually, I started cooking at True North Health Center before McDougall, and a friend of mine had tasted my cooking, and he said, let me get you an interview with Dr. Alan Goldhammer, and they were looking for a cooking instructor at that time. So I talked to Dr. Goldhammer, and he gave me a job. So I started cooking. I mean, I liked cooking. I wasn't like a lifelong lover of cooking, but I used his health promoting cookbook, and I just started making those recipes at True North. And then after a while, I started to develop my own ideas of what I would like something to taste like that was maybe different from what was in his book. Not that it was better or worse, but we just all develop our taste buds and our flavor buds differently. So I did take a nutrition course, just kind of a short one, just to get the basics of nutrition, but I didn't need that to do what I was doing. And I would tell anybody, be careful before you go and take a bunch of schooling, especially at my age. I didn't want to go back to school. I'd already done all that. I didn't want to get a registered dietitian. I didn't want to become one of those. And so I just started cooking. And I think if you can cook and you can present well, then people will want to hire you. Some people just start in their own kitchens and they have their friends come over and they do little classes for their friends, and then it ripples out to their community, and then someone writes an article about them in the paper, and they just kind of grow. So it depends what you want to do, and sometimes you just gotta get out there and start.
You bet. And speaking of starting, let's make the bean salad, because people are worried they missed the recipe, but they didn't. She's going to make it right now. And that recipe is on page 220 of The Secrets to Ultimate Weight Loss.
Okay, good. So I'll make this, and if you guys have questions, maybe we could just answer all those at the end of when I'm making this. This isn't going to take very long. So for bean salad, I have 3 beans already in this bowl. I have garbanzo beans, black beans, and kidney beans. They're all drained and rinsed. And today I used canned beans. You don't have to use canned beans. You can make your own in your Instant Pot or however you like. But these are no salt added beans, Eden brand. I love this brand. So that's what I've used today. I am going to add, let's add this next. The 4th bean is green beans. So these are just some fresh green beans. I already cut them into little bite-sized pieces and boiled them for about 5 minutes. So you want to bring the water to a boil, then throw your beans in, cook them for about 5 minutes. And I usually just test them to make sure they're nice and done. So we're going to throw these in. If you don't want to use beans from scratch, you can buy frozen green beans or canned green beans. You just want to make sure they haven't had any salt and sugar added, but fresh is best. So that's the green beans. I'm also going to add 1.5 cups of green peas and corn. These are both organic. Were frozen, so I just rinsed them under the water to thaw them out. All right, so and then 1/2 cup of chopped red onion. And
that makes every salad better.
I know, I love red onion. And I cut it pretty fine because I don't like big chunks of onion, personally, raw onion. So I cut it pretty fine. If you don't have red onion, you could use white onion, you could use yellow onion, you could use a sweet Vidalia onion, you could even use scallions, green onions. This kind of stuff is very variable. Okay, so I think that's all of our chunky stuff for the salad. So I'm going to put that aside right here. And now we're going to make the dressing. So as I said before, most bean salad dressings have a lot of sugar, like 1/3 cup to 1/2 cup, which is ridiculous. I didn't realize that until I started researching other bean salad recipes. And they have a lot of salt and oil. So this is how we're going to make a more health promoting dressing. For this one, I'm going to use my little blender. This is called a TriBest Personal Blender. I don't get any money for mentioning this. This is just my favorite little blender. I have a Vitamix, and then I have this little guy. I really like this little one. And it also comes with little short cups as well. So we're just going to, and the blade just screws on the end there. And we're just going to put in all of the ingredients. So instead of oil, my main ingredient here as the base of this dressing is just 1 medium tomato. I just cut it up, let the skins on, let the seeds in, everything, and I'm just going to put it right in here. So tomato makes a great base for salad dressing. So does cucumber, any kind of fruit or veggie that's really soft. Okay. And I'm going, what's next? 1/3 cup of vinegar. I already have that measured here.
Is that apple cider vinegar?
It is. Apple cider vinegar, which is my favorite for this recipe because this is a sweet dressing anyway. And this is just a less processed type of vinegar. So you can use a brown rice vinegar if you want. Just watch out for the seasoned vinegars because they are loaded with salt and sugar. Alrighty, what is next? 2 tablespoons of mustard. Now I'm using this particular brand, West Spray Natural, because they're the only one that I've ever seen that doesn't add any salt to their mustard.
Yep, that's what I use too.
Yeah, and this is what we use at True North. If you're really trying to get all the salt out, if you don't want to get this, just look for a mustard that is low in salt, low in sodium.
And it's very cheap on Amazon. It's very cheap on Amazon, the mustard.
Yeah, and you can order 4 at a time or 8 at a time, and then you'll just have them at your house. So I've already measured that out right here. This is a stone ground mustard. You could also, if you find a low salt or no salt Dijon, you could use that, or German mustard. You could use a yellow mustard too.
Just want to say, Cheryl said you saved her life, wouldn't have stuck with it if not for your delicious recipes.
Aw, thank you. I probably wouldn't have either. All right, 1 clove of garlic, fresh garlic, and 1 teaspoon of ground cumin. Now I know some people don't like cumin kind of like the cilantro. There's some people that always don't like cilantro. Use something else. You can use, what else could you use instead? You could use curry. You could leave it out. You could put in some coriander. That's a good one. Or you could just use less of the cumin. All right, so I think that's everything in there. I'm going to screw the lid on. By the way, this is a great standalone dressing. You don't have to just make this dressing with this salad. You could just make this up. You could even double it, and you could just keep it in your fridge for a while and use it on your green salads. Okay.
This is a great salad to take to picnics and potlucks.
Yes. Any of the 3 Ps. Picnics, parties, potlucks. Everyone's going to like this. No one's going to look at it and go, oh, that's weird health food. Because people eat this normally. And that's kind of the theme with my recipes. They're very familiar looking.
Right.
I like that people can bring my recipes to events where other people may not eat this way, and they won't have to get a lot of flack for it. So.
Jamie wants to know who your favorite chef is.
Besides Chef AJ?
That's what she actually said, but I didn't want to be narcissistic. She said, besides Chef AJ, who's your favorite chef?
Oh, I don't know. To be honest, I'm so awful at cooking other chefs' recipes that I know a lot of other chefs, but I don't make a lot of their recipes, which I should do more often. But I know a lot of other plant-based chefs, and I just adore them. I worked with Katie May at True North, and she and I used to be roommates, so I got to taste a lot of her recipes. But it's interesting how we're all a little bit different, and I like that. I like that. When you buy a cookbook, that's just one chef's idea of how they like all of those recipes, whether it's the 4-bean salad or the waffles or the minestrone soup. That's just their idea. So always feel free to change things up if you feel comfortable doing that and making them your own. All right, so here's the dressing. You can see that it's kind of pink, but from the tomato, once it gets on the salad, it's not going to look pink if that is an issue for you. All right, so we're going to pour it on. Yummy. Mm-hmm. You usually just blend it until all the tomato pieces are blended pretty well, so there's no pieces of the tomato skin floating around. This also makes a lot of food, a big volume of food. Now you could add anything to this that you want. Like I said, you could add some chopped radish or some chopped celery or some chopped spinach or some parsley. This is why it's so hard to write recipes sometimes. I'm like, oh, I can do this, I can do that. And I'm like, just hold on. Yummy, this looks so good. Sometimes I'll add some ground black pepper to this. Okay. And that's it. It is done.
Jessica wants to know if you're also a personal chef.
No, I am not. I am more of a teacher. I like teaching. I like being in front of people, helping. I cook a lot at home just for myself, and it's so much work, even with just all the washing of the dishes. I mean, I don't want to say it's so much work to like scare anyone away, but to then go to someone else's house and do all that, it's not my thing.
Sure.
But I do like going to my mom's house, and I will bring food with me, or I'll take ingredients. And around the holidays, she and I get together and create a menu and make a holiday meal together. So that's fun. All right, so there it is on the plate, looking beautiful. You could dress this salad before you take it to an event. That's fine. And then the beans would absorb all that good flavor. You could add a little black pepper. Yum, yum, yum. So there you go.
Oh, it looks delicious.
Yeah, I wonder what I'm going to do with all this food after this video is done. I'll have to take some to my neighbors.
Well, don't you teach at True North tomorrow?
Yes, I could take some there, I suppose.
You've got a bunch of people there from Ultimate Weight Loss. Maybe you give it to them.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so If you have any questions about that, I'm happy to answer them. And I'll get ready to move on to the Cesar-y Salad next.
Well, it's not about that, but David wants to know if you'll be at the SoCo Veg Fest.
No, I didn't have plans to go to that.
But you're going to be both Cathy and I will be at the Plant-Based Summit in Parker, Colorado, August 17th through 19th.
Yes. I'm looking forward to that. All right. So let me move my Vitamix over. Okay.
So the next recipe Cathy's going to make is her Cesar-y salad, and she's going to make it the way it's written in her book, but she's going to give the variation to lower the fat without the nuts, how she wrote it for my book.
Yeah, there's always a way. Okay. So I already have, now the reason I call this Cesar-y salad is because I made it as much like traditional Caesar salad as I could while still keeping it health promoting. So I have left the lettuce, the romaine lettuce, which is very traditional for Caesar salad, and just cut into little bite-sized squares. But there's a lot of issues with Caesar salad. Okay, so one is in the dressing. The dressing contains often anchovies, oils, salt, sometimes sugar, cheese, and then we don't do any bread at True North, so I don't do croutons in this. And croutons are basically just little sponges for oil and salt. So if you want to do croutons with some healthy bread, you could do that. But I just skip the croutons. If I want to do something crunchy, I will do roasted garbanzo beans or something like that, which there's a recipe in my cookbook for that. But most of the time, I just forego the croutons and anything crunchy on it. All right.
Kenny's watching.
Who is?
Kenny.
Kenny.
And Jamie wants to know if you play any sports.
Oh, I do not. I probably should. You know what sport I enjoy whenever I play it is tennis. I think I have a hidden natural potential for tennis. But no, I was never a big sports person. I was more of a dance person. I danced all my life. I did ballet as a little kid, and then when I was, I don't know how long ago, 20 years ago, I discovered swing dancing and salsa dancing and ballroom dancing, and so I got into that, which is great exercise, by the way.
Tammy wants to know if you'll be at the UWL in Vegas. Yes, she will. She's not presenting this year. Both Cathy Fisher and Cathy Hester will be attending with the hopes that next year they can both do cooking demos. It's not so easy in a hotel to do that. There's fire marshal laws and things that we're trying to get in place, but both Cathys will be there.
Yes, indeed. Can't wait. Can't wait. I'm going to make a little vacation out of it and do a road trip around it.
And she will have her book for sale.
All right, so let me make the dressing for the Cesar-y salad. As AJ said, I'm gonna, well, I don't know if you said this, but I'm gonna use cashews as the base for this. Raw, unsalted cashews, which is one option. If you don't do cashews, you can use white beans. You can use drained and rinsed cannellini beans, navy beans, great northern beans, any kind of white bean. And I would use, instead of the half cup that the recipe says, I would do 3/4 cup to 1 cup, because the beans are already saturated with the liquid, whereas the nuts usually aren't. So this is a half cup cashews, half cup water, and I'm going to use the Vitamix to make this. And I like to check the recipe so I don't miss anything. Next, I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. I know that a half of a lemon, a regular sized lemon, is about 2 tablespoons, so I'm not going to measure. I'm just going to put it right into the jar here. And this is a good one for working your muscles, if you have muscles. All right. And if you have one of these juicers, I like to mention that it goes in with the flat side down, not the round side. So it goes flat side down, then the juice comes out the holes. All right, what is next? We're again with the mustard. I never liked mustard as a kid, but now I love it. So
Yeah,
2
same here.
tablespoons mustard.
Leslie has a question on your herb roasted potatoes. She makes them every week and eats them after a long golf game and wants to know if it's possible to refrigerate potatoes halfway through a recipe after you boil them.
And then finish making them later?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting from that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you could cook them so they're tender, put them in the fridge, and then when you're ready to heat them up, take them out, put the herbs and spices on, and put them in the oven. Sure. Potatoes are really good for cooking and then reheating, and they hold up well.
Did you soak the nuts? Karen wants to know.
They were soaking for a little bit, but cashews are very soft, like pine nuts, walnuts. They're all very soft nuts as compared to, say, an almond, which is very dense and very hard. So especially if you have a high-powered blender like a Vitamix, you don't really need to soak your cashews. They will get ground up just fine. All right, we're also going to put in 1 clove of fresh garlic and just one tablespoon of brown raisins. This adds to the color of the Caesar dressing. You know, when you get it in the restaurant, it's kind of a tan color. So this helps with this, and this also helps with to add a little sweetness. And last, I'm just going to add a teaspoon of Italian herb seasoning, dried seasoning. And this is a herb blend that I use a lot. It has thyme, oregano, basil, marjoram, and I just use this on everything. It's just got a great flavor, and then you don't have to get out the individual bottles. So look for that. And also, you might want to Google where you live and spice stores to see if you have a spice store near you, because you will get better tasting, fresher, dried herbs and spices. And if you're not using salt, it's good to get familiarized with other ways to flavor your food. I have a whole article in the cookbook about dried herbs and spices, how to buy them, where to buy them, how to store them, when to know if they're old. I also have a list of these are the ones I use every day. These are the ones I use less often. So that might be helpful to you. Okay, so everything's in here. And I have my Vitamix right here. So let's mix that up.
What brand was your seasoning? Was it Penzeys or Savory?
It was Savory Spice. We also have the Penzeys in town. I go to both. I like Savory because you can get as much or little as you want. I believe Penzeys is all pre-packaged. So, kind of fun. But I like them both. All right, so look in your blender jar. Make sure it looks nice and smooth. If you see any little pieces of the nuts in there, you know, give it a little bit more of a blending. Did I get everything in there? Yeah, so remove that. Okay. I'm kind of doing this.
It's on page 207 of The Secrets to Ultimate Weight Loss.
Yes. Instead of the croutons, usually Caesar salad just has the croutons and the lettuce, maybe some anchovies or something. I like to use red bell pepper, which doesn't match the traditional recipe at all, but I use it because it's pretty. Red bell peppers are sweet, and it tastes really good. When little cherry tomatoes are in season and they taste really good, I will use those. I will kind of change out and use those too. Sometimes I'll throw in a cucumber too. All right, so now we're gonna just pour the dressing right on there. And this is another one that's really good to just keep in your fridge, and you can use it on your everyday green salad. Yummy. This Caesar dressing is also really good on baked potatoes and butter.
You know, I bet it would be a good dressing for kale chips to dehydrate.
Oh, this would be a great one.
Yep.
I will make the Cesar-y salad most often with my beefless stew. That's a good pairing. So I'm just mixing this until all the pieces of lettuce are coated with the dressing. Oh, it looks so good. And with this one, I don't pre-dress it and put it in the fridge to sit. I usually like to dress it kind of right before I'm going to serve it. It just works better that way because then the dressing doesn't kind of dry out on the lettuce, especially if you're using nuts. Well, I think that would happen with beans too.
Right.
All right, there's that. I recently discovered these little tongs, and I just love them. I also have a store on my website, a little Amazon store, and it has all my favorite kitchen tools. And I even have a Cathy's Top 10, so if you want to see what my absolute must-have top 10 things are, you can go check that out.
I hope Instant Pot is one of your top 10s.
I don't know if Instant Pot is. You know, I don't know what my problem is. I have an Instant Pot. I've had it for 3 years, and I do use it. It just hasn't caught fire with me. I've made your lentil chili in there. I recently made whole potatoes in there. I made beans and rice in there, but I haven't gotten super creative with it. I do have one recipe, the beefless stew, which I have Instant Pot eyes. And I did that for you because when I did Healthy Taste of Sacramento, you wanted to give away an Instant Pot and you wanted me to make something in it.
Yeah, I remember. That was great.
That is on the website if you want to find out how to Instant Pot eyes the beefless stew. Okay.
Right. And her website, guys, is the same name as her book. I'm posting it on the screen right now, straightupfood.com. So why not sign up? She sends out lovely newsletter with photos and new recipes all the time.
Yep.
Oh, it looks so good. I just had lunch and you're still making me hungry.
But we're not done yet. You can add a little black pepper if you want. Black pepper seems to go with Cesar-y salad. And then I use my cheese grater. This is one type of cheese grater. It's also called a drum grater because it's got a little drum inside. And what you can do with this, you don't have to do this, especially if you're not doing nuts or seeds, is you just put a little nuts or seeds in the chamber. And I'm using cashews. And then we do this instead of Parmesan cheese. And the fun thing is it looks just like Parmesan cheese. And it adds a little bit of richness, you know, if you just want a little bit. Woo! Crazy there.
Right. Nice.
So there it is with the faux cheese on top.
That looks amazing.
Yeah, so good. All right, that is that one.
If people live near Santa Rosa, could they come and watch your cooking demo at True North on Thursdays?
You know, they used to be able to do that, but now that True North has gotten so busy, especially in the summer, they're very busy. They have put a stop to that, unfortunately. So if you're not staying there, you can't come in. I mean, they used to charge people a little bit to come in and watch the cooking demo and to eat lunch there, but they're not doing that anymore, which is a bummer. So both, McDougal and True North, you have to be staying there to get all the lectures and cooking demos. Okay. So now we're going to move on to the ketchup.
Ketchup. Robin says your kitchen is so clean.
Well, I made sure to clean it for today. I removed some of the clutter back there because I can get cluttery. Yeah, because the kitchen.
Yesterday when we did the test broadcast, there was a couple of cats walking right around the counter. So
this is the cat counter.
Yeah.
And they know it. They can come up here, but they don't go over here. I don't know. You know, people who aren't crazy cat people may not understand, but I like my cats on my level. I like them close by up here. But they're good kitties. And I live by myself, so I'm not worrying about cat hair getting on other people's food. But you know, I don't think I get cat hair on my food very much. I'm always giving them kisses though, so I'm probably just used to having cat hair.
Yep. Well, they say everything tastes better with a little cat hair.
Yeah, I love my kitties. All right, so we're going to use the Vitamix again for the ketchup. Now the problem with ketchup traditionally is it's full of salt and sugar. Ketchup is a very simple recipe, just salt and sugar, usually with tomato paste, a little bit of vinegar, and that's it. So it's very easy to see. This is one of those recipes when people see me make it and then they try it, they just switch. They don't buy ketchup anymore. Even if you buy ketchup that's organic or lower in sodium, you're still going to get a lot of that salt and sugar. So what are we going to do with this ketchup? You can put it on French fries, you can put it on hash browns, you can put it on a potato scramble, you can put it on a baked potato. So it's really good to just kind of have some of this in your kitchen.
Put it on a bean burger.
Yeah, absolutely. Veggie burger. So I've already started it in here. There's 3/4 cup water and 1 can of tomato paste. This is a no salt added tomato paste. Most brands will have a no salt tomato paste. Usually it's just 2 ingredients, tomatoes and a little citric acid to maintain the color. But you do want to be careful. Some tomato pastes also have like a souped up tomato paste. This one says with Italian herbs. This is a different brand. But this brand also has a plain tomato paste. But you want to make sure that you read your label, because I saw this at the store one day with Italian herbs and I thought, oh, that sounds interesting. So I turned around and read the label and I was shocked what was in here. And I'll read you the list. Tomato puree, which is tomato paste, water, high fructose corn syrup, salt, dried onions, soybean oil, spices, Romano cheese made from cow's milk, it says, salt, enzymes, citric acid, and natural flavors. So, and you may have noticed there's no mention of Italian herbs. No oregano, no basil, which is kind of suspect. I didn't like that. I emailed the company and I said, where are the Italian herbs? And they said that's part of their proprietary recipe.
Oh, boy.
I know. So that just, they probably put them under natural flavors, which is kind of a catch-all category, and they don't have to tell you what's in that. So just yet another reason to, you know, read your labels and just try to eat more whole foods without packaged things when you can.
Right. So, Cathy, there's a request to show your kitties at the end of the broadcast. And Katie wants to know, how long will the dressings and the ketchup last in the fridge?
The ketchup will last quite a long time, probably 2 weeks. The dressing, if it has beans or if it has nuts or seeds as the base, it's not going to last as long. So maybe 4 or 5 days. And you want to smell it just to make sure it's not going around the bend, you know. And you might have to re-blend the dressings or shake them up before you use them each time, because there's no stuff in there to keep them all together, so they will separate. But that's fine. It'll still be good. Yeah, remind me about the kitties when we get to the end. So
okay.
All right. So water, tomato paste. Then instead of sugar, we're going to use 1/2 of an apple. This is a Gala apple. I left the skin on. You can leave it on. You can take it off. It's up to you. So that's 1/2 of an apple. You can use any kind of apple. A tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and a little bit of dried garlic and some more of that Italian dried herb seasoning. I think that's everything. Yeah, that's everything. Blend it up. So I usually stop halfway in between, just check it out, scrape down the sides if any of that tomato paste is sticking to the blender. And you also want to make sure if you've left the peelings on your apples that they're nice and blended in.
So what are you going to do with the other half of the apple?
I just put it in the fridge. I'll use it on my cereal tomorrow or have it for a snack today or something.
Can any of the stuff you made today be frozen?
I wouldn't freeze the salads. The ketchup might freeze okay. You know, it might separate and then you'd have to re-blend it upon thawing. I think people have said they've frozen the ketchup before. All right.
Ketchup is on page 215.
So there it is. Now I don't know if you can see that. It's a little lighter in color, but just within 5 minutes it will darken as kind of the air hits it. It will turn a little deeper red like we usually associate ketchup with. But that is it. I also have a really good barbecue sauce recipe in my cookbook that is kind of this, but it has some black beans in it. I forget what's in it. And we simmer it a little, and the simmering makes the flavor even deeper, and it makes the color a little darker.
Do you ever put any spices in the ketchup, like to make it spicy, like chipotle or jalapeno or crushed red pepper?
No, but you could totally do that. I'm not a super hot and spicy eater, so I tend to keep things kind of mild. But yeah, do whatever you want, as long as you're not adding the animal foods, you know, and the stuff that isn't so good for you. Yeah, make it your own, totally. I just added a little garlic and the green herbs, but yeah, do whatever you want. You could add some stuff.
Well, maybe the food is a little bit out of frame. Can you pull it a little bit more towards you, and you can just show everybody, recap what you made?
How's that?
Oh, it looks beautiful.
Does it go out of focus if I walk closer?
No, just lift it up a little. Ooh, that's the Cesar-y Salad from page 207. The 4-bean salad, lift it up a little bit, from page 220. And the Straight Up Ketchup or Compliant Ketchup on page 215. And these were relatively easy to make.
Yes, I don't make difficult recipes because I'm kind of a lazy cook. So I like to just get it into the mouth as soon as possible. And yeah, no one ever accuses me of having difficult recipes. You know, I have a couple like the meatless loaf that take a little bit more time.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, is great. Pamela's saying Cathy is the best. Love her. Thank you. If you guys have any more questions, or maybe she'll go out and get her kitties. Are they close by?
Let me check it out.
All right. I'll put myself back on the screen while you're doing that so that they don't have to, let's see, they can look at. So hi, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Listen, this Sunday, which is the 15th of July at 11 a.m. Pacific time, I'm doing a free webinar with the guy that Cathy works for at True North, Dr. Alan Goldhammer, and Dr. Doug Lyle, the co-authors of the book, The Pleasure Trap. And we're doing this webinar to celebrate the debut of the audio book, The Pleasure Trap, which has recently come out on audio CDs as well as on audible.com. And so if you have any questions of Dr. Goldhammer or Dr. Lyle specifically pertaining to the book, you can send them to chefajwebinars@gmail.com and we'll answer them for you. And the webinar is free, but you do have to register. And of course, there will be a replay. Roxanne, the recipes she made are in both her book today, Straight Up Food, but they were the ones she contributed to my book, The Secrets to Ultimate Weight Loss, page 207, 215, and 220. She made 3 recipes. So she's just getting her kitties right now. Oh, let me put you back on screen. There we go. That's Leo.
That's Leo. He's just outside, so he's kind of covered in stuff, but little Pete.
Do they like your food?
No. They like to be up here when I'm cooking, though. That's his spot. So
he's cute.
I have another one, but she was a little bit feral when she was little, so she doesn't like to be picked up. She doesn't come, Bindi, kitty, 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 kitty. She doesn't come when I call her. She's not as easy to find. So she might trot through, but Bindi's actually been making some appearances on my Facebook page because she has a lot of...
kitties get along with each other.
Yeah, they get along pretty good, but Bindi's 1 and Leo's 7. So he doesn't really want anything to do with, well, he'll play with her sometimes, but you know, when you're a little kitten, you just are bouncing all the time and you want to play, play, play. But he's not as into that. He's indoor, outdoor. She's only indoor. But they do okay. They got it made here.
Yeah. Claudia wants to know if either of us are ever going to visit Australia. Yes, when she gets us a job there, we'll both come together.
Oh, that would be fun. I've never been to Australia. I'd love to go. Yeah. I have some fans that live in, oh boy, I forget. What's the island just off of Australia?
Brisbane, New Zealand. I don't know. I skipped 4th grade. That's when they taught us geography. So I don't know where anything is.
Anyway, lots of fans.
Well, your food is as beautiful and delicious as you are, and look forward to seeing you first in Colorado next month and then in Vegas in September. And then I'll also be at True North in September. So I'll get to see Cathy Fisher 3 times in the next 3 months.
Yay! Well, thank you so much for having me on your show today. I've never done this before. And
yeah, you did great. And here again, I'll post on the screen one more time. Please sign up for Cathy's newsletter at straightupfood.com. And if you don't have her book already, please get her book and maybe get mine too if you like, because we really appreciate it. So yeah, I'll put myself back on. Oh, Tasmania. Claudia says the island is Tasmania.
Thank you. I was going to say that, but I didn't want to be wrong. Yeah, Tasmania. So I would love to visit someone in Tasmania. That just sounds so interesting.
That's great. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching another episode of Healthy Living Live. Thank you, Cathy, so much for your wonderful recipe demonstration and contributions. I'm Chef AJ, but today it was Cathy Fisher who made healthy taste delicious. Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Bye.